Today we'll start the new chapter, active and passive voice. Page 113 and chapter number 20. Okay, here in the blackboard I have written the formula of active and passive voice. Subject plus verb plus object. Okay, in your left side of the blackboard you see. Active voice, the example I have given here, Ravi hit the ball. Okay, and the passive voice, the ball was hit by Ravi. Here in the first sentence, active voice, Ravi is a subject, hit is the verb, and the ball is the object. And here, doer and receiver. Okay, who is doing what? Okay, action is done by the Ravi. Ravi is doing, he hit the ball. So when you turn into or change into passive voice, the ball was hit by Ravi. The ball will become the subject and Ravi will become here object, and verb will be with the helping verb was hit, or third form of verb we use. Okay, so you see here, Ravi hit the ball. Ravi is the subject, hit the verb, and the ball is the object. So when you turn into passive voice, the ball was hit by Ravi. The ball is the subject, was hit verb, and by Ravi is object. So let's see in your book. First sentence is given here. My sister taught me how to ride a bicycle. So here my sister is the subject, taught is a verb, me how to ride a bicycle is the object here. So when you change into passive voice, I was taught by my sister how to ride a bicycle. So I became here subject, was is a verb, taught also is a verb, and by my sister is object. Likewise, second sentence is given here. Leonardo da Vinci painted this picture. Here subject is the person's name, Leonardo da Vinci. Then painted is a verb. This picture is an object. This picture was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. It is subject is here what? This picture. And what was the person? He became a object here. And was painted. Verb is was painted. So let's see the definition of active and passive voice. In a sentence, if the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action, it is said to be in the active voice. It means in a sentence, it is there. In the sentence, Ravi hit the ball. Who is the doer here? Ravi. And what is the action? Hitting the ball. So it is the active voice. If the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action, okay, Ravi is doing the action, hitting the ball. So ball became a object here. Okay. The same way the passive voice. You see the definition is given in your book, page number 113. In a sentence, if the subject of the sentence is the recipient of the action, it is said to be in the passive voice. It means the subject of the sentence is receiving the action. So it is the passive voice. The ball was hit by Ravi. Okay, here Ravi was the doer in the active voice, but in the passive voice, he is the receiver of the action. The ball was hit by Ravi. Who is hitting to ball? Ravi. Here, second sentence, but the ball was hit by Ravi. Ball was hit by whom? Ravi. First sentence, Ravi hit the ball. This subject is here Ravi, and in the second sentence, subject is the ball. Okay, so let us see how to form the rule of forming sentences in passive voice. In the first rule says, the subject of a sentence in the active voice become its object in the passive voice. The object in the active voice become the subject in the passive voice. So you see the example. Okay. In the active voice, subject is doer here, Ravi hit the ball. And in the passive voice, the ball became a subject here and Ravi became an object here. So crossing. Okay, you can cross it. Ravi is object in the passive voice and Ravi is subject in the active voice. The ball is object in the active voice and the ball is subject in the passive voice. Okay. In your book, example is given. Okay, Sachin scored a century in the match. Active voice. Okay, passive voice is telling a century was scored by Sachin in the match. So these are the subject turn into object, object turn into subject. Next rule says if the doer of the action is not important, it is usually not mentioned in the sentence in the passive voice. Doer of the action is not important in the passive voice. If mentioned, it is introduced by the word by. So, example is given here. Water supply was restored after 2 days. Here, the doer of the action is not mentioned. Okay, the tunnel was dug by 3 men. If you write in the passive voice, then you will write it active voice. Then you will write the tunnel was dug 3 men. It is not given. Correct sentence will be not that, not complete sense. Okay. Then third rule says the verb in active voice takes its past participle form in the passive voice, means third form of the verb. Okay, when you change into active to passive, the verb will change into third form. Okay, verb of third form. The postman delivers our letters. It is active voice. But when you turn into passive voice, our letters are delivered by the postman. So, the verb delivers are changed into are delivered. Ed is there. Okay. The fourth rule, when we change a sentence from the active voice to the passive voice, the tense of the verb must remain unchanged. Tense of the verb must remain unchanged. Example, Mummy gives us piano lesson every day. Present tense active voice. We are given piano lessons by Mummy every day. Present tense passive voice. Given, are given, present tense passive voice. Okay, it is sentence tense are not changed. Fifth rule says the subject in the active voice must agree with the verb in the active voice. The subject in the passive voice must agree with the verb in the passive voice. Example you see here. The minister is distributing blankets among the poor. Active voice, singular subject. Minister, okay, singular subject is minister. Singular verb is distributing, okay. Now, when you change into passive voice, it changes into plural, okay. Blankets are being distributed among the poor by the minister. Passive voice, plural subject, blankets, then verb is are being distributed. Plural verb, okay. The sixth rule says if a sentence in the active voice has a modal verb, the word be is added to the modal verb in the passive voice. Okay, I can complete this work on Friday. Active voice. This work can be completed by me on Friday. Passive voice. Modal verb is there, can. So it is used there, can be. You should clean the room by evening. Active voice. The room should be cleaned by you by evening. Okay. Should be is there. Now, seventh rule. Depending on the tense of the verb in the active voice is needed to be changed to its corresponding form in the passive voice. So, in your book, page number 115, there is the table. Okay. There is the table given tense, present tense, past tense, future tense. and the types of the tense: simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous. So I have done only one in the blackboard. You can see. Here I will explain it. Okay, present tense, present simple tense, active voice. The example is given here. I click photos. I is subject here, click is verb, photos is object. When you are changing into passive voice, the photos will become subject. Then we are using are, clicked, third form of the verb, clicked, ed, by me. Okay, me is object here. Photos are clicked by me. Simple present tense. Active voices, I clicked photos. Passive voices, photos are clicked by me. Next we see continuous present tense. Okay, I am clicking photos. Photos are being clicked by me. Subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object. Okay, but you have to remember there is third form of verb with the continuous tense. Okay, then perfect tense. I have clicked photos. Photos have been clicked by me. Perfect continuous tense. I have been clicking photos. Here no passive voice. Okay, this is only active voice in perfect continuous tense. So children, please go through this chart. If you don't understand, you can ask me. I'll explain you once again. Okay, the eighth rule says when personal pronouns are used at the subject of a sentence in active voice, they change their form when they become the object in the passive voice. Example is given here. I solved this puzzle. I is personal pronoun. Okay. Solved, third form of the verb, and this puzzle is here object. So when you change into active voice, this puzzle was solved by me. So first person changing, okay, me. Ninth rule says if a verb is followed by a preposition in the active voice, the preposition is retained in the passive voice. Okay, it will not change. The lioness looks after its cubs. The cubs are looked after by the lioness. So here you see after is not changed. Okay, but the subject is here the lioness, so it is active voice and cubs are here object. But when you change into passive voice, the cubs are looked after by the lioness. Cubs have become the subject and lioness has become the object. So these are the passive voice. Okay, active voice and passive voice. So go through this chapter. Try to understand what is active voice, what is passive voice. If any problem, you can ask me. Thank you.